Welcome back to our part 2 of the Hemi intake swap. You'll notice I am at the back of the car because I am actually pulling my gas tank down. So you can see here I just got the Corvette style fuel regulator, and that runs to my tank. I got a Tanks Inc. tank, and it has a little bit heavier pump than I actually need for a carburetor. So I'm going to pull this tank down. I bought the correct pump, so I'll have an in-tank pump and be able to supply about 5 psi to my carburetor, and hopefully it'll never vapor lock because it'll always be circulating. So I'm going to leave the regulator, and like I think it says on the box, max of 58 psi, so it regulates in the filter. I'm sorry, I'm going to leave the filter and just hook onto my line up there. So if I ever do go back to fuel injection like a fast kit or Holly, basically all I need to do is pull the tank back down, switch this pump back in, and I should be good to go. So give me just a minute, I'll get this tank out and throw that other pump in. Show you real quickly my old fuel pump. It is a Walbro GSS 340, made in the USA. See, it was kind of trashy, but probably been in there a few years. I just snipped the connector for now, but here's the one I went back with. If you want that part number, it is a Precision E16379. I got that at O'Reilly's, and yeah, it says made in China, but I believe it has a lifetime or limited lifetime warranty. I'm not super worried about it right now. I want to get my car up and going. Alright, for this I got my new carburetor gasket that came in a quick fuel kit that I had. I'm going to throw it on, and I've got what I'm going to attempt to try is just a 750 Edelbrock that I just rebuilt. It's a 1407. You can kind of see got my manual choke wired open. I'll worry about that later, if I even use the choke. If I don't use it, I'll take the plate out, but for now I'm just going to kind of set it in, get it bolted in, and start worrying about my throttle cable linkage. I know Joe actually recommended a kit, and it bolts on here and here, and it will hold your factory throttle cable, no big deal. It'll work great for you. I'm personally not going to use that, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in just a second. Get these bolts started. They're just 5/16. You can use studs and nuts and washers. I'm basically just bolting this down so I can start mocking up my bracket. Be sure my butterflies will open all the way before I bolt that down, which they will. No problemo. Yeah. Here I want to show you, I'm going to have a little bit of hood clearance issue. Most people who buy this intake run a scoop of some kind, so I'll try to get you down on the level. I've actually got I'll set up my cell phone camera in here, and I'll show you real quick what it looks like when you close the hood. Alright, here it is back. So here's that tape measure. It goes about 2 1/4 inches. So whatever that length is there, I haven't actually checked it, but I just had that setting there. So it's slightly taller than my carb. If you've ever ran an Edelbrock carburetor, you may notice that the drop down base plate, like a lot of Hollies use, they hit the accelerator pump on top. So I might have to modify one. I'll check on that stuff later, and I'll try to throw it in the video. But it's going to be tight clearance. I don't really like running the Edelbrock foam breathers. If you ever have a backfire, you know they can catch fire and burn up. So I'll try not to do that. But here's what I got going with my my throttle cable bracket. This is just an old a blue bracket that came on that small block 360 I was building. I stole that piece off my other one. And I'm just going to try to get it mocked into place. Basically what I'm using here is the part of the bracket that clamps the cable. And I haven't even put my piece in here, but basically what the cable will do is need to live back here. I'm not going to shorten the cable or anything like that. I want to keep my factory. I believe this cable, the car came with a slant 6, so this is the factory cable for a slant 6. But say about right there. So let me get my tape measure out and I'll show you. Here on the outside, and it's fully out, such as that. It'll give me about 6 inches is the center of it. So when I go to locate my bracket, it'll need to be about 6 inches back, and that's almost it's a little further than that. So if I split the difference on these two, when I cut this or make my plate, it should be fine. Here's what I came up with. Just got me a piece of plate. It's not super pretty. I'll clean it up in a minute and paint it. Drilled my hole. I'm just going to use my orange piece, and it actually will set in there like that. Screw my bolt down, or my nut, it'll clamp it. If I need to flare that out a little bit, I can, but that really gives it a tighter channel right there. I can throw my cable in, which actually I'll probably put it on the inside. It just depends which side lines up better. It would be designed to go on this side. And it'll just drop in bolt and bolt on the back side of the carburetor. Now, the reason I left this bolt hanging down is so I can hook my spring to it and go to the back of my carb. Let's see if it works. Something like that. But that needs to be tightened down. As long as it doesn't hit my bracket. If it does, I'll trim off some more. See, that's hanging down. Got a new double spring. It'll just clamp down here and then go to there. So I might just shorten that spring a little bit, but it's clearing everything nicely. And I'm getting close. Before we get that plumbed up, here I just got a Holley 12-803 fuel regulator. Got that from O'Reilly's. They got it same day for me, and I appreciate it. Got a couple Dorman fittings. These are just 3/8. That's some kind of pipe thread by the 3/8 outlet. So I'll have those two for my gas line. And then on the other, I've got a 3/8 by, I believe it goes to 1/8 for my fuel pressure gauge. So I'm gonna have that facing out towards me. So basically my inlet will be here, outlet here, and my pressure gauge will do that. And I'll get it mounted up. No, it's not the traditional side that you would put a fuel line on a Mopar, but it's totally fine. Mine actually has a line coming up from the bottom that I used before, so I'll probably use that existing hole, come around the back, tie into it, and then go off with a piece of nice braided line. So let me get these wrapped up. I'll be right back with you. Regulator mounted, inlet outlet, and kind of looped around the back. got it off those wires, wire tied in a couple spots. Just kind of back out of the way, far away from the headers and all that. My first step is going to be, I will turn on the pump, see what my pressure goes up to. So it went up to 7, and now the pump's just kind of in like an idle mode. And here's our first startup. See how she does. About 6.5. Like our AFR is a little bit low. I'd like it about 13.5. See if I can get a little more out of it there. Now she's coming up. All right. So there it is. First startup on the Joe OC, the OCP performance intake with the Edelbrock carburetor 750. Next time I'll get this car out on the road. It's a little bit wet today. I'll get it out on the road and get that carb dialed in. I'll bring up my tuner studio and my laptop and see what I can do for it. So, thank y'all for watching. I'll see you next time.